Coronavirus changes are coming. Governor Whitmer announces which businesses can reopen and which will stay closed. Plus the tributes to Sheriff Benny Napoleon.
He's the kind of person you'd like to be around, the kind of person you'd like to go to war with, have on your side.
He dedicated decades to public service and lost a battle to coronavirus. This afternoon, a look at the lasting legacy of Sheriff Napoleon from the people who knew him best. Ben.
Karen, we're getting a break from the flakes today, but they'll be back for a sloppy Saturday, plus a look ahead to a potentially white Christmas. It's all right now on a Friday, first at 4.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news, first at 4, Governor Whitmer has just extended some of her coronavirus restrictions and then rolled back others. The new order keeps restaurants closed for dining in, but allows high school to start in-person learning again. Now, this comes as the state added 4,180 new cases and lost another 66 lives to the virus in the past day. One of those deaths, beloved Wayne County Sheriff Benny Napoleon. We've spent the day getting reaction and learning more about what made the sheriff so special. Paula Tutman will have that in a moment. But we begin with Kimberly Gill and what you need to know about the changes coming in Michigan.
Yeah, hi, Karen. Good afternoon. The governor says these changes are being made because case rates are going down across the state. So starting Monday, high school students can return to in-person learning if their district decides to do so. Casinos, movie theaters, bowling alleys, and stadiums can also reopen, but capacity will be capped at 100 people, and concessions must be closed. Outdoor group fitness classes and non-contact sports can also start back up. Indoor group fitness classes are still off limits, though. Restaurants will stay closed for indoor dining until January 15th. Colleges are asked to avoid bringing students back to class until then as well. The governor says she will consider lifting these restrictions earlier if cases continue to drop.
A lot depends on how the holidays go. If we as a state do the same thing over Christmas that we did over Thanksgiving and over New Year's Eve, we will be able to move things forward more quickly than if we drop our guard and travel and gather with multiple households.
And the state says they will start a new pilot program for high school sports using antigen tests for the championships. The MHSAA says football playoffs will likely restart January 2nd. The Michigan Republican Party responded to these changes, saying they condemn the governor's decision to keep businesses closed. Karen, we'll have much more coming up on the news at 5 and 6. Until then, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kim.
Sure.
Beloved, iconic, respected. Those are just some of the words being used to describe Wayne County Sheriff Benny Napoleon, a life taken too soon because of the coronavirus. Napoleon was a son of Detroit who dedicated his life to bettering it. A Cass Tech grad, he started his career with the Detroit Police Department, then worked his way up the ranks. He died yesterday at the age of 65, nearly 1 month after announcing he had coronavirus. Today, the tributes are pouring in from elected officials to his colleagues, but no one knew him better than his daughter.
We talk every day, like several times a day. We vacation together, like every moment together. Like we literally cherish those moments and we just kind of relished in them. I just want to say thank you. I think those words kind of sum up my heart right now, because from the moment that the news broke that my dad had contracted COVID-19 and then that he was hospitalized, the city, the county, everyone was so supportive.
Paula Tutman has been talking to people who knew and loved the sheriff. And Paula, it really is a community in mourning today.
Yeah, it really is. You know, the first thing that I really want to say to the family is that we know this is not a news story to you. This is your pain and this is your grief. And I also want them to know that this is not just any news story to us, because we feel that grief with you. When Hilton Napoleon, his brother, and the chief of the Highland Park Police Department had COVID and suffered really for a quarter of a year, but got through it, you know, we were cheering right there with you, and we were hoping that the same would be true for Benny. For the people who knew Benny Napoleon, today does not feel real.
And I say, you know, job well done. Job well done, my good and faithful servant. Yeah. gone, man.
Because it is impossible to fully grasp what the future will be like without the sparkling smile, the brilliant brain, and the expertise of a man who gave every inch and nearly every adult year to public service.
All of us are still trying to process this loss because Benny Napoleon was not just a sheriff, he was a part of the very fabric of this community.
Today, in nearly a year of painful days, it is particularly excruciating.
If there was anybody that should have beat this and be here, is Benny. Yeah.
Benny Napoleon wore many hats for the public: lawman, attorney, public figure, politician, community servant.
Benny was a precursor to what we see today in terms of the emphasis on community policing. He was doing community policing and advocating it long before Obama and the 21st century task force on policing and community policing occurred.
He easily won re-election as Wayne County's top lawman with a sound and resounding victory of nearly 80% of the vote in the entire county.
And I was praying for him and thought he would come out okay. And to hear the news that he had passed is just heartbreaking.
In every decade since 1998, he has held either a top or second to the top spot in government leadership. Detroit Police Department police chief, assistant county exec in 2004, and then Wayne County Sheriff since 2009.
You know, early on, in light of the fact that Hilton had just come out of 71 days battling COVID, only to have Benny follow, you know, a couple of people tried to make light of it and say, okay, you know, this is the sibling battle. You know, he wants to do it and doesn't want Hilton to beat something that he doesn't beat. And so everybody kind of just held a prayer and held hope in their pocket that he would duplicate Hilton's path and come out of this okay.
He was accomplished and well-liked, and to say that he will be sorely missed by the community he served is not saying nearly enough. More will undoubtedly be said in the future, but for now, everyone who knows him is simply numb.
He was very serious about protecting himself and not going places and being very careful. So it's just an anathema to me that someone that was so cautious could be somebody who, you know, could actually wind up with it.
Yeah, you know, as a reporter, and we're putting these stories together, we just kind of get into a cycle, and then every few moments I would stop and I would go, wow, I can't believe he's gone. I can't believe we won't be covering him. And Karen, we've covered him for many, many years. I can't believe we won't see that naughty smile, that twinkle in the eye. I mean, he was an icon, and this is a loss. This is a true loss.
I know, Paula, when I came in '98, I was a nightside reporter covering crime. He was with DPD, and he kind of took me under his wing. I'd be at crime scenes, and he would kind of guide me to the right way and for me to understand the city and Detroiters, right, and always show respect to the families and the victims. And yes, he will be missed. Thank you, Paula.
Yeah.
Governor Whitmer got emotional today as well as she described Sheriff Napoleon, calling him a dear friend, nationally respected, and one of the highest ranking African-American leaders in Michigan for decades.
He was very careful and he followed the protocols. And despite that, somehow even he contracted COVID. And in a matter of 3 weeks, he went from testing positive to being hospitalized, to being put on a ventilator. And passing away. And my heart hurts.
We will have continuing coverage of Sheriff Napoleon's death coming up at 5. Kimberly Gill goes one-on-one with the sheriff's daughter, Tiffany, and brother Hilton. And then at 6, we're going to take a look at his lasting legacy in Wayne County. We're compiling all of the memories and the condolences, and there are so many of them, and we'll be sharing them on clickondetroit.com. Vice President Mike Pence got his coronavirus vaccine this morning. He did it in public alongside his wife Karen and Surgeon General Jerome Adams. It's part of the federal efforts to build confidence in the vaccine's safety. President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris say They will get the vaccine in the coming weeks. President Trump, who has recovered from the virus, says he'll wait until the White House medical team recommends he get it. Meantime, Wayne County gave out its first vaccines today. The health department held a drive-up clinic this morning, just one day after the county received 1,900 doses. The county is starting with public health workers, EMS workers, and workers in the jail. And about an hour later, it was Oakland County's turn. In Waterford, the health department gave the first Pfizer doses to EMS workers. Oakland County also received 1,900 doses yesterday. Vaccinations will continue in the coming days. A key deadline with the federal government looms at midnight as talks heat up over a COVID relief package. Congressional leaders have tied a $900 billion coronavirus deal to a $1 trillion funding package. Now, if no deal is reached by midnight, funding will lapse and part of the government may shut down. Lawmakers may agree to pass a temporary bill to fund the government for a few more days and then hammer out that COVID deal. They plan on working through the weekend.
Democratic leaders, Speaker Pelosi, Leader McCarthy, and I have been working around the clock for several days now. The talks remain productive. In fact, I'm even more optimistic now than I was last night that a bipartisan bicameral framework for a major rescue package is very close at hand.
We do not include the direct relief for state and local governments, which I'd hoped would be part of this agreement. I hope we can return to that issue soon, very quickly after the first of the year, and perhaps with the new president, and find a way to provide this relief.
The relief deal would extend unemployment benefits set to run out after Christmas. It would also give $600 to eligible adults. Well, Eminem releases a surprise album overnight, and in it he apologizes to one of the most popular musicians in the world. That's ahead in Trending Stories. Let's send it over to Ben. I know we're talking snow, right?
Yeah, Karen, we're heading into the last shopping weekend before Christmas. I know a lot of folks are going to be running errands. We'll be dry for the rest of tonight. Parts of the weekend do look a little bit sloppy. We'll look at that coming up.
But first, the Supreme Court issues a ruling that could have an impact on the federal funding cities get and your representation in Congress when we come back.